All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom to the elect. Okay. The title of this video is going to be called How to Observe the Sabbath. Okay. As you can see in my notes here, um, you know, all the days of the week that we know are named after like Greek gods. Okay, they're named after Greek gods. Okay, this is like Greek mythology. It's all made up. It's all trash. It's boo boo, right? Okay, I'm gonna start off with this verse right here in First Samuel chapter 20 and verse 5. Okay, and David said unto Jonathan, "Behold, tomorrow is the new moon." Okay, so pay attention to right here, the new moon, okay? Because we know what Esau did, and they got their Gregorian calendar, they got their Julian calendar, okay? And they made these calendars, okay? But it's not the actual time that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is on. Do you think that Esau is on the same time as Yahweh Yahweh Shai? No, he's not on their time. He's not on the great Allahayim's time. Okay. That's why, well, I can't say that's why, but you could imagine the scripture, what is it, Matthew, okay, 24 or so. No man will know the day or time, okay? The Lord cometh like a thief in the night. Yes, he does, okay? But see, the Lord also says, measure thou the time diligently, okay? Let me pull that up for you since the Spirit has led me there, okay? I think it's Sirach chapter 2. Let me see. Oh, second Esdras. Okay. This is second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest, okay, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, will begin to visit the world which he made. You see that? Okay, so I'm going to go over this real quick. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Okay, so the Lord tells you that we can measure the time. We would, hey, the elect will know when he's about to come. From my perception, hey, if I'm going off, let me know, brethren. Okay, but we can measure the time diligently. Okay, and that's a command as well. Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, see, don't we see all these signs passing? Okay. We're starting to get many sightings of these chariots, these UFOs. I mean, these so-called UFOs, right? All of these chariots, these angels, okay? They're going over the White House while they're broadcasting live on the news. Just post it. Counting every word and recording everything. We got these rumors of wars and wars going on, okay? We got these earthquakes in diverse places, okay? We got unnatural affections and foul affections going on here in Babylon the Great. All the signs, Matthew 24. Go ahead and read that, I suggest you go read Matthew chapter 24 whenever you feel like just busting it open and, trying to get something, get some food, okay? Let's go back over here to Samuel, right? First Samuel chapter 20, okay? And so I could go over that. Because this is around the time when, so Jonathan and David were like best friends, what we would call best friends, this time and era, right? They would die for each other, okay? And David, David was, the Lord loved David, of course. And we know that Solomon came through the loins of David, right? And so the main point is what I was trying to get to in this little section, okay, was David was running from Jonathan's father, I believe it's King Saul, right? And because Saul was trying to kill him. Salakia for the noise in the background. King Saul was trying to kill King David, you know, for no reason, but ultimately it was the Lord's will for this to be happening to David at this time. And in this particular verse, First Samuel chapter 20 and verse 5, okay, and David said unto Jonathan, who was like, what we would call best friends, right? Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, okay? Because the Lord gave us he gave us these luminaries, right, and these stars for us to measure the time as well. Okay? And that's just a physical note of measuring the time. Now, to measure the time spiritually is just like I was saying before in Second Esdras. Okay? And that goes both ways, okay? Measure the time in the physical sense, okay, to keep the Sabbaths and all the feasts of the Lord, okay, and the high holy days, right? Also, to actually measure the the time in a spiritual sense, where we can see where we're at, okay? Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is coming soon. We know that we're in the end of the end, okay? So look, verse 5 again. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat, okay? But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even, okay? Because they're keeping it holy, for the Lord's Passover, okay? And Salakia. I forget if it was the Passover or the Sabbath. But anyway, this is how we measure the Sabbath, okay? Like, if you don't know when the new moon are, okay, there's like 29 and a half days a month, okay? You could go on Google and just type in new moon and get you also could get an app on the Play Store or the Apple Store and just type in a moon calendar, and they'll have what's called an almanac, ALMANAC. They'll have an almanac and wherewith it gives you a list of all the new moons and full moons, okay? So I have to put it out there that I was wrong. I had it all wrong. I thought it was from Friday night to Saturday night, okay? But the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai for the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, okay? Who do teach and rule well, okay? Because I have came across this in the Bible a couple of times before. I also used to be associated with a camp. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It was called Sons of Jacob, okay? And Elder Debar Ya'Allah, he made it very clear to me. He said, you got to figure out what names you're going to call, and this is when I was watching all these other camps. I was watching GMS and all the other camps. It's when I first got into the truth, I was just so excited, and I was like a straight by law, all of the commandments, one of the 100% commandment type of dudes, at the time. But Elder Debar Ya'Allah told me, he said, you got to figure out what names you're going to call, okay? If you're going to, call Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Also, what he said, you got to figure out how you're going to keep the Sabbath, okay? He said, you're going to do it by the moon or and, I'm not sure if he does his from Friday, but I believe he does his Sabbath from Friday evening to Saturday evening, which is incorrect, okay? Because the scriptures clearly, tell you, okay? This is just one example right here. We'll get to more, okay? And I'll read verse 5 again. 1 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, okay? Tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field until the third day at even. Okay? Because he was hiding from, he was hiding from Jonathan's dad, okay, who was trying to slay him. But that's not the point. The point is that the new moon, okay, tomorrow was the new moon, okay, the seventh day, okay? There is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the Bible, okay? We know that from the book of Genesis, okay? The Lord created everything in 7 days, in 6 days, and on the seventh he rested, okay? Now, on our seventh day, right? This is how do we know what the seventh day is? By the new moon, okay? So whenever the new moon falls, right, we know that 2 weeks later is going to be a full moon, and that'll be a Sabbath as well. But we divide that in half, okay? And whichever day that is, okay, that seventh day after that new moon, boom, that's another Sabbath. That's 2 Sabbaths. And then the full moon, that's the third Sabbath, okay? And then you know, so forth and so on. Calculate that, okay? Basically 29.5 divided by 4, okay? They make up all of this. Esau got this leap year stuff and all of that, just to keep throwing it off. This the time just changed a couple of days ago, as you guys know. You know, it gets dark earlier now, but it doesn't get dark earlier. Okay, we could measure the time by the moon. Okay, we measure the time by the moon and the sun. Okay, that's what the Lord created them for. Well, he created them for light as well, you know, for a couple of reasons. Okay, a lot of reasons. Okay. However, we use it, you know, to measure the Sabbath, and this is what they do not teach you in the Christian church at all. They don't teach it anywhere in any religion. Okay. That's why we're not religious. Okay. So let's get Isaiah chapter 66 and 23. Oh, Salakia. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, Salakia, chapter 66 and verse 23. Okay, as it reads, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, you see that? That from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another. That's saying the same thing, right? Okay, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Now when it says that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, it's just, you know, giving you insurance on the first thing it said. Okay? It's basically saying, it's saying that's, hey, I'm talking about the Sabbath when I'm saying from one new moon to another. Okay? But only if you have the spirit to receive the truth of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, okay, you'll receive that, okay? Because I was wrong, you know, and I had it wrong, you know. First, you know, all my life I thought it was Sunday was the Sabbath day. Then when I was about 16, 17, maybe 18, I found out, I was like, oh, you know, I was taught that it was the Sabbath day was on Saturday, okay? And then when I got in this truth, I started well, not this actual 100% truth. When I found out I was an Israelite, Hebrew Israelite, I started keeping it on Friday night to Saturday night, which is still incorrect, okay? Because it doesn't have Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the Bible. And I'll go over here to Wikipedia real quick, just to give you a quick example, you know, about these Greek gods, okay? As you see, okay? This is Wikipedia, okay? Sunday is the day of the week, right? Sunday is the day of the week between Saturday and Monday, okay? As we know. As you see, it has a whole bunch of, and you know, you can't believe everything you read on Wikipedia because we know that Esau, you know, runs all this data, okay? He holds it in his servers, you know, in his beast computers, okay? And they don't understand scripture, so they won't have the they'll have the truth in there, okay, mixed, surrounded, and abounded by a whole bunch of lies, okay. But we'll get into this Greek god stuff just to get you get a little context here, okay. Now this is the sun, right? Okay. Sunday is named after the sun. You see that? The name Sunday, the day of the sun, is derived from Hellenistic astrology. Wow. Hellenistic astrology. How uh how ironic is that? Okay? Let's get that real quick. Hellenistic astrology is a tradition of horoscopic astrology that was developed and practiced in the late Hellenistic period in and around the Mediterranean basin region, especially in Egypt. Okay? The text and technical terminology of this tradition of astrology were largely written in Greek. Okay? We're not going to get too much into that, but if you want to, you could go. You see these charts right here of astrological charts, okay? As they call them, naval charts. Some BS, okay? Right? The name Sunday, the day of the sun, is derived from Hellenistic astrology, where the 7 planets known in English as Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon. Okay? Now we know there's way more, what we call planets and than they could even, figure out. Okay? They can't measure Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah's creation. Okay? But look, these planets and the days of the week, Salakia, the days of the week are named after these planets, okay? So, and the moon, that's where I left off. Each had an hour of the day assigned to them, okay? And the planet which was regent during the first hour of any day of the week gave its name to that day. During the 1st and 2nd century, the week of 7 days was introduced into Rome from Egypt, and the Roman names of the planets were given to each successive day. As we know, we're in modern day Rome, Babylon the Great, okay? We're here in Egypt, okay? Spiritual Egypt, okay? Spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Okay? So there's just a basic understanding to know, okay, that that's it's Greek mythology. These Romans, Esau, they created that, okay? And I'll get one more, which this is Friday, okay? And I'll go on down. Okay, see if and I haven't read this whole thing. I haven't read it at all, matter of fact. But we'll get this right here. In modern Greek, 4 of the words of the weekdays are derived from ordinals. However, the Greek word for Friday is paraskevi, and is derived from a word meaning to prepare. Like Saturday and Sunday, Friday is named for its liturgical significance as the day of preparation before a Sabbath, which was inherited by Greek Christian Orthodox culture from Jewish practices. You see that? Okay? You see the Greek? Okay? You see that? And then the Jewish practices? Okay? So let's get that, okay? Greek Orthodox Church. The term Greek Orthodox Church has 2 meanings. The broader meaning designates the entire body of Orthodox. The Chalcedonian Christianity, sometimes also called Eastern Orthodox, Greek Catholic. You see? You see all that? All of that is pagan, right? Or generally the Greek Church. The narrower meaning designates any of several independent churches within the worldwide communion of Eastern Orthodox Christianity that retain the use of the Greek language in formal ecclesiastical settings. And you see they got Caesar Borgia right here, Let's pull that up on the screen. There goes our there goes y'all God. Okay? Not for the elect though, we know the true depiction of Yahweh Shai, but this is, their it has the title right here down here. Okay, a mosaic of Christ, Pantocrator. Yeah, there goes Christ, IUIC. There go your God, IUIC. All y'all who call on Jesus Christ, there go your God. Okay? Exactly the opposite of how the Bible depicts him to be. Okay? Ruler over all, right? Istanbul, Turkey. And we know what they do in Turkey. Okay? They get down foul out there, okay? But let me see if I could get anything else out of here. If not, we'll just go right back to the scriptures, okay, to finish this off. Okay, in astrology, Friday is connected with the planet Venus, okay? So we know that, astrology is going way off, okay? It's not biblical, okay? You got some Hebrews even talking about biblical astrology. That's off, okay? That's off, okay? Now, the astronomical figures is what we use to determine the Sabbath, okay? And find out when the Sabbath is, okay? Now let's get back in this Bible, okay? I'll read Isaiah 66 and verse 23 again. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. See, that's clear enough, That's clear enough. That tells you that the Sabbath, is on the new moon, okay? We know that there's one new moon every so-called month, okay? So you divide that into 4, then you'll find it, okay? Let's get Genesis, okay? Salakia. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, okay? And Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai said, Salakia, and the Most High said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. You see that? It's plain and simple. Okay, so we have that established. Okay, and we could jump back to Isaiah 66 and 23. Okay, that new moon is a representation for the Sabbath. Okay, and the Lord is even said when he, in Genesis. Okay, so we know that we was off. And I have to admit, I was off. Okay, I done taught people the wrong way. Because I was taught the wrong way. And may Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai have mercy on me for that. Okay? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 46, starting from verse 1. Okay? Thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Alahayim. Okay? The gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days. Okay? Because that court was holy, It was holy for the Sabbath day, okay? So for 6 days shall it be shut, okay? It shall be shut the 6 working days, okay? Because on the 7th day we're supposed to rest, right? But on the Sabbath it shall be opened. And in the day of the new moon, basically confirming what it just said. In the Sabbath it shall be open, okay? And in the day of the new moon, telling you the new moon, okay, is the Sabbath, right? It shall be open, okay? And I'll read verse 2, okay? And the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, which we don't do anymore, okay? Because Yahweh Shai was the last, he was the last sacrifice, okay? We don't have to do those we don't have to do those burnt offerings, those sacrifices no more, okay? And Salakia, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening, you see? Okay? So we know it's from even to even, right? When the Sabbath is, okay? But we don't count it by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so whatever, okay? We don't count it by that because that's not even biblical, okay? Esau made that up. Okay? The main point is that's not biblical. Okay? Verse 3. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai in the Sabbaths and in the new moons. You see that? So that's how we could tell, when the real Passover is, okay? That's how we could tell when the real Sabbaths are and all the high holy days and feasts of the Lord are. by the new moon. Okay. Let's get First Chronicles chapter 23 and verse 31. Okay. This is First Chronicles chapter 23 and verse 31. And to offer all burnt sacrifices unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in the Sabbaths, in the new moons, basically confirming in the Sabbaths. What? The new moons. What? And on the set feasts. What? By number, according to the order commanded unto them, continually before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. See, this is a never-ending covenant. Okay? This is a never-ending covenant. We're supposed to keep these. Okay? And the scriptures tell us how to keep these high holy days. Okay? Let's get Second Chronicles chapter 2, verse 4. This is Second Chronicles chapter 2 and verse 4. Okay? As it reads, Behold, I built an house to the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, my power, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, and for the continual shewbread, and for the burnt offerings morning and evening, on the Sabbaths, and on the new moons, and on the solemn feast of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, our power. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. See? A never-ending covenant. Okay? We're supposed to keep that. Here, let me break it down a little bit. Okay. I'll read it again. Behold, I build an house to the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, my power, to dedicate it to him and to burn before him sweet incense. Okay. These are things you can do. You know, when you burn incense, there's nothing wrong with, burning sage. Okay. But if you're doing it to get rid of evil spirits, hey, man, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're supposed to burn them to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay. And for the continual showbread. Okay. And for the burnt offerings, which we don't keep the burnt offering sacrifices no more. Okay. Evening and Salakia, morning and evening on the Sabbath, and it's just not expedient for us to do burnt sacrifices as well in this modern day and time. We'll be doing fed time. You can get you a turtle dove and you sacrifice it or whatever. You'll be in jail. Okay, you're gonna be doing no sacrificing. Okay. Okay. So and for the burnt offerings morning and evening on the Sabbath. Okay. And on the new moons. Okay. See that? And on the new moons. Okay. Before that, it said on the Sabbath. Okay. Morning and evening. Okay. Let's get Second Chronicles chapter 8 and verse 13. Okay. As it reads, even after a certain rate every day of Moses on the Sabbath, which really is the commandment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which he gave to Moses to give to the children of Israel. Okay. Which he was an Israelite, right? On the Sabbath and on the new moons, confirming once again, it said on the Sabbath and on the new moons, after that comma, after the comma, when it says and on the new moons, it's confirming, it's giving you further detail, indicating what he's talking about, okay? And on the solemn feast, giving you further detail, even on the solemn feast, right? And then comma, right? 3 times in a year, right? The solemn feast, okay? Comma, right? Even in the feast of unleavened bread. You see that? That's another high holy day, right? And in the feast of weeks, comma, and in the feast of tabernacles. Okay? And see, that new moon is an indicator for us. All right? This is Amos chapter 8 and verse 5. As it reads, saying, when will the new moon be gone? Okay? You're complaining, right? That we may sell corn. Okay? Someone's complaining here, right? Saying, when will the new moon be gone? That we may sell corn. Exactly. When the new moon is gone, okay, at evening, you're able to go back in business and, buy, sell, and trade. Okay? So let me read it again. Saying, when will the new moon be gone that we may sell corn? And the Sabbath, see? It's saying, and the Sabbath. that we may set forth wheat. See? So we could, do what they do with the wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, so they could get their bread, right? And falsifying the balances by deceit. See? You got murmurers and complainers, they didn't want to keep the Sabbath. They didn't want to praise Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai on the Sabbath, but they rather chase that bag. Okay? Okay? And that's what, it was talking about right here. But if you dissect it, you see that further indicates, further explains, it's hidden in there, okay? It's a mystery hidden in this one verse. Basically, another precept for how to observe the Sabbath by the new moon. Okay? I think that's it. Okay? So with that being said, man, I hope that was edifying to the elect. Okay? I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. Shalom to the elect.